Pebble is 22. The oldest living dog. Certificate. The oldest dog living is Pebbles, USAB the 28th of March 2000. Who is 22 years 50 days old as verified in Taylor, South Carolina, USA on the 17th of May 2022. Never forget what happened today 33 years ago. A different view on 1989 Tiananmen Square protests. Never let a government think and act as it's more powerful than the people. The world's oldest underground station. Baker Street, England, 157 years apart. I saw thousands of mallards gathered on a frozen pond last winter. At least one was suspicious of me. All the letters, large and small case. Quartz veins in stone. More than 3 tons of firearms will be destroyed this month in Australia. The haul of 2,809 firearms, totaling 3,228 kilograms, has come into police possession after being seized through criminal investigations. The original pride flag in the sewing machine it was sewn on. Saturniidae moth caterpillar. How the Grand Canyon looks lit up only by a lightning strike. A gentleman named Triganum is making each of the 19 children a customized casket for free. He met every child's family last week, so he could design each one unique. Bees overtook the car next to mine during the 10 minutes I was in the store. My second cousin was Tom Cruise's prom date. A desert bloom. Bathsheba, the beautiful wife of David in the Old Testament. This magnificent work belongs to Benjamin Victor. Devil horns eclipse sighting over Qatar. Infinity table in the making, created by Logan Wilson. The skeleton flower, whose petals turn from white to translucent when it rains. Worship the gun. AR-15's a biblical rod of iron at Pennsylvania church. Approximation of what the Mona Lisa would look like without damage from aging and light. The Ark of Bukhara, a fortress located in Uzbekistan, built 1,500 years ago. In a small town in County Cork, Ireland, a monument stands in appreciation to the American Choctaw Indian tribe. Although impoverished, shortly after being forced to walk the Trail of Tears, the tribe somehow gathered $170 to send to Ireland for famine relief in 1847. In the 1970s, an employee at the German Lego factory was awarded a Lego brick made of gold for his service, and included a thank you note for his efforts. Serbian-American inventor Nikola Tesla reading a book in his remote Colorado Springs laboratory in 1899 next to his magnifying transmitter that generates millions of volts of electricity. This is how sunset looks from space. Needle-felted Dalmatian. This close-up of a peacock spider. Dragon Eye, a metamorphic rock formation, which was found in a stone mine in Lancashire, England. This man confessed his feelings by solving 840 Rubik's Cubes to form a portrait of the girl he confessed to. She rejected him. South Korea packages banana raspberry ripeness to avoid wastage. Amagabaki, ski mountain and energy plant in Denmark. The first known photo of a tornado, taken in Kansas in 1884 by A. Adams. Sand dunes inside a crater on Mars. Crayons Carved Out. Apes are entering the Stone Age. 2,000-year-old preserved loaf of bread found in the ruins of Pompeii. This is the amount of protection used for an undersea cable. A group of Ukrainian photographers made a photo book trolling Putin for charity. Russian warship. Go duck yourself. This is a country Sealand. It has its own government, stamps, passports, and even a soccer team. There are 22 official residents. This is a Bashkir curly horse, one of the greatest mysteries of the horse world. Horses with curly coats are most certainly an ancient breed. This is True Quan Su, a converted murderer in Vietnam and a video game addict who had escaped from prison 3 times, smiling while being rearrested. All his prison breaks ended up with him found in cyber cafes playing video games. This is what you can do with a telescope and a smartphone. No expensive cameras. After a 2010 Pakistani flooding, millions of spiders fled to the trees for shelter, cocooning entire trees. South Australian Health and Medical Research Institute. I photographed a meteor. A replica of a 1st century AD folding chair discovered in the burial of a Roman noblewoman near Borskamich, Germany. Golden Bridge, Vietnam. The bones of a whale's fin. This is proof they were once land mammals. The iconic staircase in movie Your Name and the real place it is based on. 2,000-year-old cat paw print preserved on a Roman roof tile. Tall ship on Lake Superior. The 1989 Pink Floyd concert in Venice on a floating stage next to San Marco Square gathered over 200,000 fans in the crowd and unintentionally resulted in the mayor and the entire city council resigning in the aftermath of their performance. This castle extension on top of a regular suburban home. Mike Tyson when he was 13 years old. Carmen Yol diving suit, France 1880. Another gorgeous shot of a SpaceX launch. This is the oldest rock on Earth, the Murchison meteorite. It's 4,600,000,000 years old, and it existed before the Earth itself had completely formed. A magical looking forest in Sweden. Using the US-Mexico border fence as a giant volleyball net. 1970 to Toyota RV2 camper looks angry and confused from the back. Not in a pine board looks like stained glass when it's lit by the sun. A McDonald's in Paris, France. This seagull has urge hands. I can see a volcano, Etna, from my hotel room. These 7 iconic albums were all released within a 44-day period in 1991. My dad is an animal lover. He found a dead raccoon on one of his walks and buried it beside a mossy rock. A few days later this deer statue appeared. Johns Hopkins chemical and biomolecular engineering students invented an edible, gluten-free and vegan tape to hold a burrito together. Tape in the image on the right, dyed blue for visibility. World's Cuisines Ranking Update, Opinions. I cut a leaf and feed my shrimp. They made art. UV light of a canned drink, show in dust and plastic fibers not visible under standard lighting. built in the 18th century. This is one of the oldest buildings in Hattfjelldal municipality in Norland, Norway. Example of successful cranioplasty from Peru 400 BC. Alfred Hitchcock and daughter Patricia 1942. Roman Empire's 250,000 miles of roads reimagined as subway transit map. My table at Nathan Outlaw at Almahara in front of the massive aquarium tank at the center of the restaurant. The flight deck from the last Concorde built. Australia bird masked lapwing. Wind turbine shattered by a lightning strike. The OG Winnie the Pooh and friends at the children's room of the New York Public Library in Manhattan. Tim Noble and Sue Webster create sculptures out of trash that make beautiful silhouettes when light is cast on them. Some US aircraft carriers have an onboard Starbucks. A Chicago neighborhood in 1917 and in 2022. Opened up an old thermos and found a wartime newspaper from 1939 inside. If the US goes to war, you'll march and you'll stay in line. In 1983, due to changes in the metric system in Canada, less fuel was loaded on plane. Air Canada Flight 143. After 17 minutes of fuel-free flight, the pilot managed to land the plane to the Gimli racetrack, former air station. Stag beetles are endangered in the UK, so I'm grateful to have found this little guy. Sunscreen dispenser on Sydney beaches. The eye of a giant squid. A black Sunday dust storm approaching Rolla, Kansas on April 14, 1935. The new Pillar of Shame Tiananmen Square statue replica in Norway. Space Shuttle controls versus SpaceX Dragon controls. 50 years of difference. Space Shuttle controls. SpaceX controls. The bell tower in the water. Kirin Venosta. Bolzano, Italy. Tintype photograph of an astronaut. Alfred Hitchcock meets Leo the Lion. US President Reagan meeting with Afghan mujahideen at the White House to highlight Soviet atrocities in Afghanistan. Vintage motorbike safety measures. Traditional Zambian, Africa, costume with modern accoutrements. The world's most expensive hotel room is in a submarine costing $232,000 per night. Took this photo of the inside of this fallen tree and ended up looking sick. Balance Rock, Berkshires, Massachusetts. Visited here last summer. The majesty of the Colosseum. Did you know that some aircraft carriers have sprinklers in their flight decks? I shot ballistic clay and took a resin cast of the mushroom effect inside the bullet hole. This is a baby lightning bug. Image of President Abraham Lincoln in his casket. Spruce tip patterns. A day in the life of mold and crawl space technician. An Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine, SSBN, displaying its 24 ICBM tubes. Fender Telecaster guitar patent design detail 1951. Airport customs employees went on strike today in Lisbon, Portugal. This isn't even the full line. The hypersonic North American X-15 reached a maximum speed of 4,520 miles per hour, over 2,000 meters per second. It first flew in 1959, 73 years ago. My cat ate 25 hair ties over the course of his life and now needed emergency surgery to remove them. He's 13. Aerial shot of Muhammad Ali victorious over Cleveland Williams 1966. Classic 1955 Ford F100 electric vehicle conversion with expandable solar panel. Rare monochrome red rainbow. A strawberry growing out of another strawberry. In France from 1910 to 1972, Michelin, the tires brand, made reinforced concrete, the base, and volcano lava, the logo, road signs. They were given for free to cities, so the roads would be better and more people would drive, so more customers for tires. Nowadays this is a dying road heritage. Nymph morphing into dragonfly. This fish that ate a mole. Ruby-throated hummingbird getting that hard to reach nectar. My friend has one. So many levels on Candy Crush there are no more levels for her to play and she has to wait for the game to create new levels. She's at 11,814. Longest suspension bridge in the world, Czech Republic. 15,000 gooey ducks I'm farming. 1mm in size. 6 years to market ready. I had no idea that onions flour. Eggs inside shrimp. I pointed a telescope near the core of the Milky Way for 10 hours and revealed more stars than I could possibly count. The sky is so crowded it almost looks like noise. Fairy flies are the smallest flying insect in the world, being only 0.15mm long. Double rainbow from the mist of a waterfall. The world's largest chocolate sculpture is an entire house made of chocolate with chocolate furniture, appliances and even people. Letterbox going along the River Thames. A pathogenic fungus basically exploded this hoverfly. This fell near my grandfather's place during World War II from a German plane. Luckily enough, this is only a tank. This is an X-ray of my left leg after a leg lengthening procedure I had done in 1998. I was 11 years old at the time. Some of the multi-million-dollar homes that were burnt down in the Laguna coastal fire a few weeks ago. California, US. The drunk basket. In the 1960s, bars in Istanbul would hire someone to carry drunk people back to their homes. I found this weird looking balloon. Whale of a birthday treat for capital of hot air. A sundog appeared this morning. This deep sea probe taking a picture of plastic bags in the Mariana Trench. Light painting with FPV drones. $100 in Lebanon at the end of 2019 versus today. This cactus looks like a dinosaur. Lizard sleeping on a sago palm sleeping nature's hammock. What a Nokia brick phone looks like after being shot with an arrow. This is what the paddles on a paddle boat look like when not moving. Graying back hair. Paint preserved by the dry desert air. Medinet Habu complex. Temple of Ramesses III. This is Robbie in supermarket Delhaize. If you type in a product he'll go to the location. This is in Belgium. I've seen few. Here's a typical Polish prison cell. My mom's various European pre-Euro coins my grandfather got on deployments. These are the first few pages of a 14-volume anthropology encyclopedia from 1925 I found in grandfather's study. They describe the different breeds of humans. Written by J.A. Hamilton. For 20 years, a cat was mayor of Tahkeetna, Alaska. Until next time. Saw a baby jumping spider taking down a baby mantis that was way bigger than it. Twin cyclones in a single image, Cyclone Asani above the equator and the other one Karim below, spinning anti-clockwise and clockwise respectively. The Chenab Bridge, located in Jammu and Kashmir's Riasi district, is 1,315 meter long and aims to boost connectivity to the Kashmir Valley. The Chenab Bridge holds the distinction of being the highest railway bridge in the world at 359 meters above the riverbed level. Lots of posts about the crazy thing in the sky this morning. Here's a close-up. It's an early morning rocket launch. The Four Seasons of the Kotisaari Island in Finland. Kingfisher capturing his prey. A skull of a 25-year-old woman who had brain surgery 9,500 years ago. It is now in the Aksaray Museum, Turkey. Total lunar eclipse at moonrise, lined up with the Golden Gate Bridge. Artificial limbs and prosthetics from the 19th century Victorian era. African American Union soldiers at Dutch Gap, Virginia in November 1864.